Hey guys! Welcome to Free Tutorial TV and video which discuss on Python course for beginners. Today in this video we will discuss about multiple constructor with class in Python. Please don't forget to like the video. Subscribe the channel. In the last video we have seen how they use init method and self in Python. And this video also we will discuss more about init method and the self keyword. So let's get started. So here I have a very simple class called hello. And in this class I have method call init and I'm just instantiating this class and creating an object out of this hello class. Now the first question which may arise is what I have. I don't want to use this self keyboard. You can see that there is a red squiggly line appears here which means an error. And this we can also see when we run the program. So when we run the program it's going to give us this error. It says it takes 0 arguments but given 1. Now you may ask why it's saying that we have given 1 argument to the initialization of this hello class. So as I said in the last video that self is automatically parsed when we initialize a class, and that's why it says that 1 argument is given. But init takes 0 argument because here we haven't given any argument inside these parentheses. So self is absolutely important. So you need to give the self. Now the second question you may ask is, can I create multiple init method inside the class? So let's see if it's possible or not. So here I'm going to give this pass keyboard, which means that this init method is an empty method. And let me create a second into my third. And this time I want to add one more parameter here. Let's say name. Okay. So we have provided 2 init method here. And let's see what happens. So this is the instantiation of a class where I haven't given any argument to this instantiation. So when we do run the program, and what it says init missing 1 that acquired positional argument, which is name. So it turns out that it's not possible to provide multiple init method in the Python class. If we provide multiple init method in the Python class, init method which you define at last will be considered as the main init method and other will be all written. Okay, so whatever init method you define at last, that signature of init method will be valid, and all the other init method which you will create will be overridden by the last init method. Okay, so let's provide the argument name here. So I'm going to just provide 1 argument here, and then run this code and it works perfectly fine. Okay, let me just to revoke this order. So instead of using this init at the top I will use init which doesn't take any parameter at the bottom. Now. Okay. And we provided this argument and let's run the code. And now once again we get the error which says init takes 1 positional argument but 2 are provided. So 1 positional argument means that it only takes the self argument and nothing else. But here self is provided automatically. But we are providing an extra parameter here which is not required. And that means this in which we have defined later is valid and this previous init is not valid. So always remember it's not allowed to use multiple init method in the Python class. But if you do this, the last thing that method will be valid init method and all the other init method will be invalid init method. Now one more question you may ask here. What if I want to create both kind of instances, one of which takes no argument here and other which takes 1 argument or multiple argument here? So the answer is in my previous video, which I have shown you how to provide default value to your arguments. So let's say I provide a default value to my argument here. Now I will create 2 instances of the same class. One takes no argument and other 1 argument, and then I run this scored no error appears here. Okay. So if you want to create init method with multiple parameters you can either use the default value for your init method parameter, or what you can do here is you can use this parameter which takes a tuple. So in the previous video we have seen that we can provide an argument that asterisk in front of it. And this means that we can provide multiple parameter to all method here, and when we run the code, it's also valid. We can also provide multiple parameters here and it will also be totally valid. So I'm going to run the program once again and you can see it's totally valid. So if you want to provide multiple parameters to your init method, you can use this kind of notation. Or you can provide the default value to your parameter. Or the last thing you can use is you can use, for example, this type of argument which takes the keyword called **kwargs here. OK. And this also we have seen. Whenever you use this kind of notation, that means you want to provide that dictionary key value. So let me provide some kind of key value bear, say name is equal to some kind of name here. And then let me run the code and it's totally valid. It doesn't give us any error. So even though multiple init methods are not allowed in Python, you can use these type of notations in order to give variable length argument in init method. And let me just remove all the parameters from here and this instantiation from here also. And let's take the next question. So let's say I want to remove this parse keyword from here, and here I want to initialize some values, so self.name is equal to. Let's say we will provide some names, so I'm going to provide the argument called name and not name as equal to name here. And then let's say a self.age here, and we provide some value which is not taken from the argument, but we provide some static value here. Is it allowed? Yes, it's totally allowed. Right. So if you want to provide some default value for your attribute, you can absolutely provide that without even passing it as an argument. So it's not necessary that all the attribute values you need to provide from this argument list. You can provide any default or static value here which is not coming as an argument. So I hope that clarifies some more details about the init method. I hope you must be liking the video. Please click the like button. Share the video. Subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Have a nice day.